What's going on, everyone? So Tyrese Haliburton and the Indiana Pacers are headed to the in-season tournament championship, the first one ever against the Los Angeles Lakers. And the Indiana Pacers have had the toughest road thus far. I mean, they had to go through the Boston Celtics, they had to go through the Milwaukee Bucks, beating them both to get to this point. And they really just took over, dominated against both the Celtics and the Bucks in the fourth quarter down the stretch and just pulled away. And a lot of that was Tyrese Haliburton. Tyrese Haliburton in the Bucks game was fantastic. He put up 27 points, 7 rebounds, 15 assists. He was 11 of 19 from the field, 3 of 9 from 3, 1 block, and 0 turnovers. 0 turnovers, which is just ridiculous in and of itself. And then you add in on top of that the Celtics game, which again was excellent. 26 points, 10 rebounds, 13 assists, gave you a triple-double. He was 10 of 18 from the field, 5 of 11 from 3, 1 steal, and guess what? Once again, 0 turnovers. And those 2 games, he had 28 assists and 0 turnovers. The guy is the engine that keeps the Indiana Pacers going, that keep the Indiana Pacers moving, and he's been fantastic. I mean, he's putting on an MVP level campaign. Seriously. I mean, we are watching Tyrese Haliburton emerge into a superstar right before our eyes. The guy has been I just can't stress enough how good this guy's been. And he's 23 years old. 23 years old. He's not, 27 or 30 or something like that. No, he's 23 years old. So 1, he should only improve and get better. 2, he's going to be a fixture in this league for a very long time. He's got, at minimum, probably 10 to 12 years of just great quality basketball. And the guy is already this season averaging 27 points, 4 rebounds, and 12 assists at 23 years old. And he's leading the charge for a historically great offense. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some issues with the Indiana Pacers. As I mentioned, they have historically great offense, but defensively, they are historically bad. They are very bad defensively and giving up a lot of points. Their sole purpose is to just basically outscore you and just outpace you and outrun you. But Tyrese Haliburton has been the engine. So far through 18 games, he's averaging just under 35 minutes a game, 34.4 minutes per game. He's averaging 18 field goal attempts, in which he's shooting 52.5% from the field, which is just excellent efficiency. He's averaging 8.9, so basically 9 three-point attempts per game. He's shooting 44.1% this season, averaging 3.9 makes per game. And then on top of that, 60% from 2-point range with the stat line that I gave you of 27 points, 4 rebounds, 12.1 assists. He's also giving you a steal. He's giving you just under a full block, and he's averaging 2.2 turnovers per game. So he has a 6-to-1 turnover to assist ratio, which is just again, historically good. We have seen him really progress. Obviously, being the face of the Indiana Pacers, just year in and year out, improving, getting better and better year in and year out. You see him just really putting in the work, putting in the efforts. Going from Sacramento to the Indiana Pacers trade, I think, was massive for him because it really allowed him to be unlocked, where I think if he was still in Sacramento, I don't think he would have gotten the opportunity to emerge the way that he has, where, I think he would have been very hindered. Right? But you're seeing now with him on the Indiana Pacers, him having this team, him having this opportunity, him being in the league for 5 years now, you're seeing that growth and you're seeing him really blossom. And like I said, every year he is improving. He went from 13 points to 15 to 17 to 20 to now he's averaging just a hair under 27 a game. You saw in the FIBA. Right? Him and Austin Reeves were their most efficient players, right? Steve Kerr, when Team USA was in trouble, with all the stars on Team USA, they weren't the A-listers, but still, there was a lot of talent on that team. You saw them go to Austin Reeves and Tyrese Haliburton and that pairing. And they delivered like clockwork. I mean, they were fantastic in FIBA. They were both up there in efficiency, everything that you could want. Tyrese Haliburton is going to continue to be a star, and he is playing like the best point guard in the NBA, right? Now, I know that there are other point guards that you can look at and go, oh man, like, no, like these guys are bad. But Tyrese Haliburton is closer to a traditional point guard than all of those guys. Like, I really was thinking about it. Like, how many point guards are closer to like the Chris Pauls, John Stockton, Steve Nash's, Jason Kidds of the world, compared to like the guys that they're scoring guards now, right? Like the point guard position is more of like point guards that can score the basketball at will, hyper athletic, like the Ja Morants, the De'Aaron Foxes of the world, but can still make plays. They're not like these great visionaries with the basketball, right? But they're still good enough to find the open man, run the pick and roll, like run the necessities for the point guard position, right? But you look at Tyrese Haliburton, this guy is just like, he puts on a masterclass in clinic out here. The dude is out here he's elevating guys that on other teams might not even be anywhere close to the level of play that they are, right? That might not even be real rotation guys at times. Like this dude, Obi Toppin even, right? And look, I like Obi Toppin. I think Obi Toppin is a solid player, but the stuff that he's doing with the Indiana Pacers, he was not doing with regularity on the New York Knicks, right? It's just so much easier for him, right? It's so easy for everybody on the court with Haliburton having the basketball because he's just so efficient, so effective. He's great at just finding people. He's great at just seeing things that nobody else has seen. He's got the high IQ. He can score the basketball, right? He can shoot the basketball. Although I'm sorry, but like my one knock on Tyrese Haliburton, he might have like one of the ugliest shots in the game, right? It's so weird to me, and it's so slow, yet he gets it off every time. Like I don't know, it's just funny to me. Like, there have been a lot of guys in the history of the league that have had just terrible looking shots, but have been just absolute butter. And that's kind of where I am with Tyrese Haliburton, right? Like his shot it looks awful, but hey, he's knocking it down at, like I said, almost a 45%. It's like a leaning shot, right? It's like he's just like almost like a push shot in many ways, right? But hey, to his credit, he is just taking the league by storm. And this in-season tournament has really been his like coming out party. Like it really has. It's really been like, oh no, I'm here. This is my time. He was even doing the little my time celly and all that stuff, right? Like he always says the right things. He seems just like he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's very down to earth. He's very humble for the most part. Obviously when he's out on the court, he's a killer out there. He's talking his talk. He's, I'm him, all that stuff. Like I love that, right? But then you see him in the interviews, you see him just talking, right? Like even after the game, they interviewed him and they were like, after, you made that shot, you did the time gesture, and I'm paraphrasing, but you did the time gesture and you said, this is my time. And he goes, no, this is our time, right? Like bringing the team in. He could have easily said, hey, I hit the shot. It was a big moment. Like you've seen guys do that. Damian Lillard was even like at times in his career would be like, oh yeah, like, yeah, no, that's just what I do, right? That's it. No, Haliburton said, it's not about just me. Like we did this. We as a team got this done. That's great signs for a leader. That's the kind of guy you want at the helm of your franchise, right? And as long as Indy has Tyrese Haliburton, they're going to be in good shape. Obviously, Indiana's going to have to do their part to put the proper pieces around him to contend. I don't think Indiana is anywhere close to being a real contender. Even if they win the in-season tournament, I don't think that all of a sudden means that they're the best team in the league and they're winning an NBA championship, right? Like, they beat Boston, they beat Milwaukee, right? But does anyone think that they would beat them in a 7-game series? I don't even think most Pacer fans think that they would beat them in a 7-game series. Obviously anything can happen, but that's also the beauty of the in-season tournament, right? It's one and done. So the Celtics, the Bucks, they might beat the Indiana Pacers 9 out of 10 times in the playoffs. But if it's that one time, guess what? They win. And so Indiana's done a very good job of having that urgency. And this is great experience for not only Tyrese Haliburton, which it's excellent experience for him, but it's also great experience for just the Pacers team, because they're, the fourth youngest team in the league. It's just great experience for this team as a whole to be in that playoff atmosphere, right? Because that you got to give, however you feel about the in-season tournament, you got to give them credit. They have done an excellent job of just bringing the playoff atmosphere 6 months, 5 months, or whatever before the actual playoffs. I mean, teams want this, right? Teams are going after it. Teams want the competition and want to be the team to win this thing. And I had my concerns, I had my reservations, but I have to give the NBA credit where the credit's due, and they've really shined a light on this, and it's worked fantastic. And it's put a platform for a young team and a young star in Tyrese Haliburton to emerge. And this is excellent, excellent experience that they're going to be able to carry over if they make the playoffs, right? They still got to win games. They still got to, Indiana had a great run last season and looked like they were a playoff team, and then we all saw how it ended, right? So far, they are the 6th seed. So they're not out of the woods. They're still going to have a long season ahead of them. They're still going to have to win many games. But if they can get into the playoffs, I do think that this in-season tournament has been very beneficial and very helpful for them. I really do. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel about Indiana? How do you feel about Tyrese Haliburton? Who are you riding with tomorrow? All those things. Do you think Hallie's really becoming a star right before our eyes? How do you feel? What your thoughts are? I'd love to hear it. So